Anyways.
Yeah, I'm so tired, man.
I don't know. I keep yawning today. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can tell, but I am a little bit tired.
Cool. Yeah, so today, topic, how to meet new clients.
How to meet new clients. So, welcome to the 3rd episode of Brolab. So now, we've figured out our shit.
Twice.
Yes. And so, we've decided that the first topic of our video is going to be talking about how to meet new clients.
And do well at meeting them. Because I just spat at you. Number 1, ask questions and set the expectation for your meeting.
Yes. Establish the foundation. Because if there's no foundation, then the house will just sink into the ground.
The other thing to keep in mind is all of this is a system. These are the steps you go through in order to make sure that a prospect meeting goes well, or at least if it doesn't go well, you can figure out why and then use whatever you get from it in order to go into the next meeting and have it successful. Like every single time that you're talking with someone new, you always go through the same things. So it's like, what are you expecting out of this meeting? What is the topic of this meeting? And there's one more.
What do you expect? What's the topic? And I don't know. That kind of sounds like you covered all of it.
That's if you do anything more than once, you should have a system for it. And not to mention the fact that systems are what makes a business sellable. So if you want to eventually sell your business, retire, if you don't have systems in place, nobody's going to want to buy it because you're the one who's been doing everything. As soon as you leave the company's basically gone. Who would want to buy a company like that?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what makes a business sellable.
Well, I guess the step before that would be, well, how do you get in contact with those clients? And I mean, I guess like the two obvious ones would be networking events or social media. First, establishing a connection before you're on the phone with them, like maybe sending them a message on Facebook or Instagram, and then see if you could get their number, and then agree to call them on a later date, and then see if you can meet in person. With me personally, I've found that being face-to-face with people at networking events has been very effective. I've gotten five meetings of the last networking event that I went to, and I met like 15 new people that were interested in what I had to offer. So yeah, networking events is a good place because then at the same time, you're surrounding yourself with a bunch of other people that also want to network.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So it's not invasive for you to just walk up to someone and be like, hey, I'm Mysterious Visions. I do videos. Are you looking for a video? So
boom. Easy.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I agree with it. It's like the two are networking and marketing. Yeah, so what do we have so far? Oh, one of the best ways that you can possibly go out there and find new people to come into your business and market, and it's actually the most effective, is word of mouth marketing. Now, how do you go out and get people to start talking about what you do? What you do is you take the clients that you have and you say, all right, so we have an ambassador program. If you go out and tell these people about my program or what I do and show it to them and show what it's done for you, and they come and they purchase something with me, I'll give you a cut of that. 5-10% of whatever package they purchase with you. That makes sense? I think we just proved that yawns aren't contagious because I haven't yawned once yet.
Yeah.
But just thinking about it made me want to yawn, so.
Oh.
Change of subject!
Wait, what did you say in the last video?
What you focus on expands, man.
Like my mouth when I yawn. So we've established how to good ways to meet clients, setting up the expectation for when you're going to meet them. The next part of that would be
when and where are we meeting?
So then you're establishing a commitment sort of thing, rather than just being, oh yeah, let's keep in touch and see what we can do. Like,
let's find a time to meet. I'll try and give you a call next week.
Yeah,
it's never gonna happen.
Might as well you're better off just throwing your phone out the window, sort of thing, because you're not gonna get a call back from them. So establishing that committing language, like, okay, we're gonna meet here and we're gonna meet at this time
on this day.
4
things you need to have is I remember the other question. So it's what's the topic of the meeting? What am I gonna get out of it? What are you gonna get out of it? And what's your agenda with this meeting? And what do I mean by that? I mean asking them what back end agenda do they have in meeting with you? Is the intention for you to exchange services, or is it for them to just sell you on something? Is their agenda like, hey, I know that you, Nick, run a program for kids, and in my agenda, I know that I want to get in front of kids so I can sell them on something, right? Because I've had so many people do that, where I go out and meet with them to bring them on and help serve the teenagers by training them in finances or entrepreneurship or something like that. And then, but their agenda is they want to get up and sell something to the kids, and we do not do that because we don't want to sell something to them. We want to just give them education on how to do better in school, how to do better in finances, all that kind of stuff. And so that's the other thing, is the agenda.
So, question, isn't that kind of similar to saying, what do you want to get out of this meeting?
Yes, but it's different because someone could say, I want you to purchase my program, or what do I want out of this meeting? For in the same example that we were talking about before, what do you want out of this meeting? Well, I want to go out and speak in front of the kids so I can train them in what they do. Okay, what's your agenda? And then oftentimes people will catch, they'll be like, what the fuck? Right? Because the agenda is the thing that's like staying in the background. They don't want you to really know about it because that's what they're wanting kind of on a deeper level, right?
Oh, okay.
So what's your agenda? So yeah, it's what's the topic for the meeting? What am I going to get out of it? What are you going to get out of it? And what is your agenda? Okay, you can, if they ask you back, you can share them your agenda as well. And then the last one, the most important one, the thumb, which differentiates us from other animals on the planet, is to ask when and where you are going to commit to meeting in person, or if it's online or on the telephone. So those are the 5 things that you want to have systemized when you're giving someone a call or setting up a meeting with someone.
Yeah, and then especially when you have all that out of the way, then everyone's kind of on the same page.
It makes it expectations rather than assumptions.
But I'm actually experiencing that right now with a client where we haven't established everything, and I think I might be meeting them tomorrow to kind of get us on the same page, because I've done work for them, but we never really got a chance to discuss payment. I'm going to be meeting with them tomorrow to establish that, which, I mean, unfortunately, it's happening now. Should be something, like we said, should be happening right off the bat, sort of thing.
Well, and then see, that leads right into the next step, which is actually going to meet them. What you're doing before you get into a business relationship together is setting the expectation of what that relationship is going to look like. So let's just take it as an example, learning experience, right?
Yeah.
One of the first things that should be talked about at that first meeting between the two of you is the pricing, right? But it shouldn't be the first thing. You don't want to sit down with someone across from someone and be like, yeah, so I charge this much per hour, and right, because you need to find out what they need first. It keeps on coming back down to typical sales scripting, right? It comes back down to typical sales scripting, which is, how do I make the person feel, and this is for you, so you can write this down too, how do I make that person feel? How I can serve that person with what I have, what our company does, purchase decision, so that's when you bring in the price, and then they make the purchase decision, and then that's when they go into either purchasing or saying not now.
Well, also, like, when you're meeting with that person, it's a first impression. So, like, if you're doing what you're doing, where you just enter, hey, I'm Mysterious Visions, $1,000 please. Immediately, it just, off the bat, seems like, well, one, your motivation is money, not actually providing value. You're just looking at your client as a way to make a buck rather than serve them. Exactly. They want to be able to get behind your vision and your passion as well, because, well, then they're going to be more excited to work with you rather than, you're just a price tag. If the person that you are going to be working with is excited to work with you, then the price doesn't matter as much. Whereas if you're opening with that price, it can seem like a huge roadblock in the relationship that you're trying to establish.
The reason why is because if you just put a price out there, they have nothing in terms of value behind that, right?
It's just
they have nothing to compare it to other than what's in their own mind. So if you've not built the value behind what you do, then nobody's going to purchase from you. And that's an incredibly important step, is to build the value before you give them the number. So let's just go through the ranks. We have the marketing, networking, right? We have the system set up for actually contacting them and setting up the first meeting. We have ideas around the first meeting and what you should do, what you should talk about. And then the fourth is going into setting the expectation for what you're going to do together. Say, let's just take you going on filming, and you take them through the whole sales technique, like all 5 steps to the sales, and then they say, yes, okay, I'm going to go with that. They already understand the price. They already understand what you're going to do for them, but you need to set more expectations. So it's like, okay, cool, so we need to be here at this time, which is setting the next meeting, right? You need to show up, you need to be ready to go, because if not, then we can't work together, right? So it's just setting more expectations and saying, like, this is what I expect of you. Do you have anything that you expect of me as we go forward?
Just dive in. Don't dip your toes in. Just dive straight in.
But yeah, so that's most of meeting with clients.
Yeah, I think. Is that pretty much it?
Pretty much it.
Fun fact: Nick actually isn't here. He's busy running around. He's just, he's just on Skype and digitally inserted.
It's movie magic. You'll never know.
But if you're thinking about it, even if you don't believe me. Steps one more time for clients. Well, first you have to connect with the client by either networking, social media, or marketing, where they actually connect with you first. Then after you connect with the client, follow up. So whether that's a phone call or sending them a message online, and then figuring out, what time do we meet? And you have to get them to commit, and you have to commit yourself. And what that means is setting up a place and a time, where and when, sort of thing. So establish that, so then you guys are both on the same page. After that, then discuss the 4 things. What's the topic, what they want to get out of the meeting, what you want to get out of the meeting, and then finally, what is your agenda? So then now you've basically set the stage for the meeting, finally meeting them, and then establishing that relationship moving forward. So
yeah, and then setting expectations for what it's going to look like when you actually work together is the last thing, right?
Exactly.
All those steps combined, if you can pull that off and you can get them to the point where they're super ready to purchase, you've set up all those expectations, everything will go a lot smoother on the back end, right? Because
absolutely.
If you don't do that, you will have those scenarios where meeting with someone doesn't go so well, or meeting with someone goes really well, you start working with them, and it goes horribly because both of you had a different idea of what was going to be good for you in your mind. Like, comment, share, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
On Brolab. Still figuring out our shit, man.
Yep. All right. So, peace.